Well, because the Leafs suck, I guess I gotta be happy about my wiffle ball team, so holy shit, Miller to the map! From everything I saw and read about Colm, I think nobody expected him to go all the way up at 2. Some people had him going at 8. There was a few undrafted. Preston Colm going 2 was actually a little bit unexpected from a lot of guys within the community, but you know what? Tommy got who he wanted. Anyways, before we dive into the rest of this Discord Reacts, because the series has finally returned after God knows how long, welcome back guys to the AJ Plays channel, and today we are bringing you the first Discord Reacts of 2023, how the MLW Discord reacted to the 2023 MLW draft, and let's just say things are going to get really interesting, so let's get right into it. Personally, I am more than thrilled that these guys got Walgate. They ended up landing him. Walgate, oh my god, Walgate, RJ Walgate, AJ, bro, my brain is having a stroke. Personally, I thought Bonham of all people would have ended up going to the Wildcats in that trade. Liam Jackson seems like a bit of an underpay. However, the 2024 Gators pick, that can be really good if those guys miss the playoffs. If the Wildcats end up tanking, they possibly have the top 2 draft picks next year, and things are going to look really interesting for Wildcat Nation. See, at first Dark was pissed, and then Dark realized who we ended up actually getting in the draft, because I think, yeah, after that, I think all of the Magic fans just kind of exploded. If these trades were 100% pure, and we'll get to that in a little bit, I think Jack Agner, if these trades were 100% pure, he's actually once again in contention for Manager of the Year, which I'm personally sick about that, but I mean, like, it is what it is. However, the Magic, wow, they really have a solid core now, and they have a chance to legitimately go make some noise and possibly make it to the playoffs and even further in 2023. I am personally amazed at the draft that the Magic just had. It took so many long years, but Ward, after 4 years of the draft being in place, finally drafted a talented wiffle ball player, not a baseball player, a wiffle ball player. Jake Longman, finally, after like years of speculation, he's finally in MLW, and I'd assume that he'd immediately be in the lineup and possibly pitching in the second pitcher's position as well. So let's see what Longman can do in MLW. I'm really intrigued to see this. Yeah, I think the collective perspective on the on the Diamondbacks pick is, who did you like? Jake Pishka. I think I've nailed his name at this point. Jake Pishka. Last year I know I butchered a few names here and there. Landon, your guide is like, I know I butchered a few names last year. Jake Pishka is one of the harder names to get, and I think I just nailed that one. But anyways, damn, definitely a wild card pick for the Diamondbacks, in my opinion, there, because like he's all the way in Illinois. You don't know what his availability is going to be, and you still have Flood and Bennett that you got to experiment with. You know, you have the door's open this season for you to experiment, considering you have to bat at least 4 guys in your lineup. So you have a lot of guys now that you can rotate in and out with Pishka, Bennett, Flood, and it's really just depending on Pishka's availability. Let's see how that pans out. I don't know. Maybe Jimmy actually hit a home run with this. We really don't know yet. Why do I feel like Chadwick is like shaking in his boots right now? The Cobras at this point, I think Chris Baranowski, I don't know what he's really capable of. I've seen the highlights. He looks like a solid, promising player. He'll definitely get some reps in the lineup for sure. However, this is really just another depth piece that the Cobras, the Cobras can really use now in the push to the World Series. I think they still have the most talented team on paper. Even with the Preds acquisition of Jake Longman, I still think these guys definitely have the best team on paper. Tommy's going so far to draft Carlington to finally dethrone Jimmy, from what I remember Kyle saying in the draft video. But I mean, like, it's still a good pick. Designated hitter, definitely a little bit more of a mentor for guys like Caden Irwin, Preston Colm, like some of the other guys on the team for sure. It's definitely a good draft pick in my opinion. However, what I personally think as well, there were probably some other good names on the board. However, Carlington going probably the last notable Livonia guy. Whatever happened to Nathan Boyar, bro? I literally made my salsa meme a few years ago, and Nathan Boyar still didn't get drafted. Like, what the hell? I made it. I made it. Mom, I made it. Cat's plan clearly seems to go through a tank year, and all of a sudden the Magic have a lineup of Curdy, Miller, Ackerman, and Walgate. That's not including Jack Agner or possibly Trevor Bonham if you want to bat either one of those two. However, I don't know if Agner's going to get time at the plate or in the field, considering some of his, I hate to say it, Jack, but some of your more abysmal performances last year. However, I really like the direction of the Magic. This is something, I'll say that. I deadass think Bonham might have just lost his job, bro. I don't know if he's going to pitch because you got Miller and Walgate. I think Bonham will definitely get one of the 2 roles. But he's probably not going to bat. Like, if he doesn't even pitch, Trevor Bonham is practically irrelevant in MLW. I think Pishka might immediately assume the second pitcher's role behind Norb. And then I think from there, Norb, Heath, Pishka, or probably Shima in that 3rd spot. And then it's a toss-up between Flood, Bennett, and Pishka in the position for the 4th bat in the lineup. I think all of them are going to get games here and there because you got to see which one of them is really your best. Which out of your 6 guys are your best 4 to bat when you're going into the playoffs. Because the goal, obviously, this year is continue to try and freaking three-peat. Because if they get the three-peat off, it's a dynasty in MLW cemented. Even though I got them as the 5th strongest team and they're 5th in my power rankings, there's no counting out playoff Jimmy Norp. If they get there, who knows what the hell is going to happen. Okay, Huff, let me write this down with you. So, Cobra's B+, yeah, definitely. Chris Baranowski at 7 is a solid damn pick. Diamondbacks, we just really don't know enough about Pishka yet. The Eagles drafted Carson Yurgaitis. I don't think we had a single screenshot about that, but Carson Yurgaitis is on the Eastern Eagles. And I'll be dead honest, you know what? We don't know. He could be similar to Landon. He might not be. Not too sure about that. Gators, not applicable because, you know, Magic, obviously, A+ draft. Mallards, I don't know how you exactly say F draft. I still feel like they drafted pretty solid. Preston Combe, Tommy's wanted him now since 2020 from what he said on the podcast in the most recent upload. I don't see how it's really an F for them. I guess maybe that they had the first pick and they drafted down. They traded down. I really don't understand why. I don't. Anyways, Preds A-. Yeah, Longman, fantastic pick. Wildcats, they're really focusing more on next year. And they still have a core that they're hoping is good enough. And they're banking on Liam Jackson coming back to life. If he does, then cool. If not, then yeah. I'd say these are all pretty accurate, except for the Mallards one. I really don't know about the Mallards one. Between Bay City Wiffle and KWL, you're looking at a lot of pipelines here of potential Wiffle talent. You're looking at guys like, through both those leagues, you got Flood, both your Gaitis boys, and Preston Combe, and then you also got Sawyer B and the Baranowski guys, Ackerman. Like, all these guys are coming in now from different leagues. Ty Smith, I think, is there as well. Like, all kinds of talent spread across Michigan, and they're really becoming, a lot of them are becoming MLW guys through the draft. Yeah, I'm kind of silent because, like, I just don't know how to interpret that. Like, the standings I kind of understand. I don't know about the Diamondbacks missing. I feel like the Gators might actually have a pretty terrible pick. The Magic, yeah, they'll make the playoffs, I think, over the Wildcats with the team they have now. Preds, Mallards, World Series, I still think it's going to, if anything, it's going to be Cobras, Mallards, and Cobras get it done this season. That's my take. Cobras are going to get it done. I feel like they could. I don't even think they had that bad of a draft, and the Mallards fans are all the ones getting mad right now. Like, I'm mad we didn't take RJ. Preston is fine. Like, Preston is fine. RJ probably would have ended up going 2 over Preston. I'd say that. Damn. Boy, I can definitely relate to Lister right now because the Maple Leafs are kind of shit. Michael Bunting, you know, fucking up everywhere left and right. Justin Hall's been on the ice for 6 goals in the playoffs that were scored on us, and only 7 allowed. And fucking Samsonov's been kind of dog shit. Our scores ain't showing up. Bro, it's game 1 and Leafs Nation is panicking, bro. Like, everybody like, I'll do a video. If you want me to do a video on the Leafs, I'll do a video on the Leafs. Let me know in the comments if you want to see my mental breakdown on the Leafs. Because, like, how much more diehard of a fan do you need to be to have 2 Maple Leafs flags, a Matthews, a Sundin, Tavares, all kinds of plaques within your bedroom? My room is literally entirely blue. Like, bro, like, dude, go Leafs, go in this house. Anyways, back to MLW. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the Mallards are doing, but I still think the Mallards did okay. Who in the hell got the bright idea that Nick Saylor is getting traded? Bro, Nick Saylor's got to get traded for, like, maybe Trey Flood, Casey Bennett, like, 3 draft picks. Like, he's worth a package and a half of young guys, young talent, and, like, he's a superstar. If guys like Bonham and Chadwick are getting traded for 2 draft picks, you got to imagine the price tag that a Jimmy Norp or a Nick Saylor have on them. It's got to be ridiculous. So for a little bit of context, I had an online exam that day that started at 2 and went till 4:30. Then I had to get to work for 5 o'clock. So I pretty much listened to the draft in the car on my way to work. Like, I was, yeah, don't text and drive. Don't text and drive. I'll tell you that much. Just don't text and drive. Please don't. Please, nobody. AJ plays PSA. Do not text and drive. Just don't. And whenever you see me text is like whenever I'm parked, pretty much, right? So, like, this is before I left. I saw that Miller ended up on the Magic, so, like, yeah, thankfully he ended up going to the Magic, because if we traded up and didn't draft Grant Miller, I think I would have actually migrated to the Southern Seahawks franchise, bro. Then I see Madigan post this, and then I react like this. Top 4 here are all interchangeable. 5 is Diamondbacks, that's for sure. 6 now could be considered the Magic, considering after they got Walgate, Miller, and Ackerman. And then Wildcats are just better than the Gators. We know this. So, yeah, no, this is accurate. I think that's actually pretty accurate, because any of the top 4 can be changed. Like, my order right now, even after the draft, is still Cobras, Eagles, Preds, and then Mallards, in that order. This is how I reacted after the Walgate deal. And the trade that led us to getting Walgate, yeah, whatever. And I reacted like this. Like I couldn't even type correctly because I was just like overreacting over what have sports done to my life, dude? Imagine if I wasn't like just imagine if like I wasn't a Leaf fan or I just like would watch sports for fun like I do MLW. Like I'm a Magic fan, but like I don't care that much. I mean, this screenshot says otherwise, but still, like imagine if I just watched all sports without overreacting. Like imagine how much stress-free my life could be. Pounders, we'll get into this after. Pounders, we will get into this after. Yeah, Drew is not happy. From what I've seen, Drew is definitely not happy about some of the trades. Wildcats won, in my opinion. I still feel like it can go either way, just based on the Gators' performance this season. From what Drew did a few years back with the Gators draft pick. Remember, that blew up in his face, and his team ended up going to crap, and the Gators won the World Series. So he had no value, really, in that last Gators pick, and he used it to draft Gus. So I think that's kind of how Drew was thinking, because they have the pieces now. Like, can Trenton just make an entire comeback in MLW? Possibly. Curdy, Jackson, Bonham, Jorgensen, Cheatham, and Chadwick. Can all of them just get back to what we remember them being? Yes, possibly. So it depends. If this Gators pick doesn't look too well, like doesn't go well for the Wildcats, then this trade just looks like absolute crap for the Wildcats. Love how the way Madigan just says Kyle is not good anymore. He did stat pad. I will say he did stat pad, but we can't just say, oh, he's not good anymore. He's not elite anymore. That's a better way for you to go ahead and put it. Nick Saylor, oh yeah, he's been solved at this point. Like, we figured that out. Liam Jackson, we don't know about. And there's nothing bad you could say about Jackson Pearson, who had a really good sophomore year last year. I still think, like, it's really, Sailor's been figured out. Kyle is getting up there, and he's not really, like, doing as well as he used to. The MLW talent has become much more elite than he is as a player. Overall, it's just not the year. It's probably not the year for the Wildcats, and they're probably going to tank now. I can see some kind of reason in the Walgate trade. The Miller trade, like, it makes sense because Tommy wanted to trade down a little bit. But at the same time, like, you want to go ahead and compete for a championship. Grant Miller's at the tanking right there. Like, though, if I just don't know. I really just don't know with some of the draft decisions that were made. Passing up on RJ and gambling on the Gators being terrible next season. Yeah, maybe that's actually this can pan out well for the Wildcats. The Mallards, I just don't know about everything at this point. I think I've given up. So yeah, that's my take on the whole thing. RJ helps now. The Magic, again, they're better off now. Wildcats, the Gators pick can be really good next season. Mallards did what they wanted to get done. Cobras and Eagles are just going the brotherly route. The D-backs we really just don't know about. And the Preds, someone just give them an award for finally drafting a legitimate wiffle ball player with their draft pick. Trust me, Drew has told me his opinion. It's information that could be good, it could be bad, but I'm not going to disclose it because I literally said to Drew, I'm not going to say anything. So there's a lot of differing opinions right now on a lot of it. Drew is on one side. Everyone, like, there's just so many differing opinions right now. We don't know who is on what side, really, with the players especially. There's some that are for it, some that are kind of against it. I'm not going to disclose what side Drew is on because I'm not going to do that. I really won't. First off, that AJ should have been me. That's one. Okay, that's one. I'm just joking. But anyways, two, Tommy has explained it on Pump It Up at this point, so again, he has said that, he's looked into drafting Preston Coleman now for years. He's 15 now, and he's looked talented since, like, he was 11, 12 years old. Tommy's wanted him for that long. However, I mean, can you really draft him with the number one pick? I guess Tommy decided, like, he was set on drafting Coleman. He wanted to draft it down, like, he wanted to trade down and maybe get another asset for next year. You never know, because if the Magic somehow goes sideways, then Agner just looks like, I hate to say it, Agner might look like a legitimate buffoon. So Tommy is still I feel like Tommy still could be cooking, even though getting Grant Miller obviously would have been like 100% better than drafting Coleman. Even though I still think they did okay. They still did okay. That's my opinion. I think they did okay. If either Pearson or LJ are the ace for the Wildcats, I might actually just like say this is legitimate tanking. Like, Kyle, what are you doing? Like, I think ECK finally sees the light. Ward has been here the entire time. ECK's just like, thank you, Jesus Christ. ECK's just happy that they finally have somebody of competitive wiffle ball talent. I don't know how this exactly turned into a debate about Gavin Nareski pretty much quitting MLW, but I'm going to do a video on this Diamondbacks team eventually on how the original Diamondbacks just faded away from existence. Like, we don't know where they went. Like, Gavin pretty much quit MLW, and I don't understand how that exactly happened. But it's almost like Kyle told them, you need to draft either one of Norb or Sailor for your franchise to have a chance. Drafted Norb, and probably the better one of the two to draft for a franchise player. And he has taken the Diamondbacks now and made them his own, with his own guys, his own roster. He's really taking control now. They've won 2 World Series under his belt. You know what? Yeah, it's better off that they're in Norb's hands rather than Gavin's. I am 6'3". I hit my growth spurt at like age 16. What are RJ Walgate's parents feeding the guy for him to be 6'5"? Is that with shoes? At 15 years old. What the hell? My honest opinion on the overall thing now. The Magic, okay, sure, getting Grant Miller for the trade for the Grant Miller thing, I can see both sides here. Obviously, the Magic need their franchise guy. Tommy had his sights set on Preston Colm, and he said this. He wanted to trade down. That's fine. He got another asset for next year. He now has the higher pick between him or the Magic. Now, what I kind of don't get now, the extra trade where they get Walgate and they still sign Ackerman. Like, if they just didn't get Walgate, I feel like then it would be a little bit more realistic. But again, they are rebuilding. However, at the same time, let's not look at the team and say, oh, immediately they all suck. Because last year, Jordan Curdy made improvements and he will continue to make improvements in MLW. Trevor Bonham carried the Magic for the first few series of their season. He got hit by a team that knows him all too well in the Wildcats and a team that literally had him and know all his tricks in the Mallards. He's not going to face the Mallards this year and the Wildcats. You don't have to pitch him against the Wildcats twice. You can only pitch him once. Overall, I don't think you have to make that second trade. I really don't know. You can either say it's trades made for competitive balance intentionally. You can argue against it and say that these are all genuine trades and that they both have their reasonings as to why the packet, like, players were traded for certain packages. Overall, at the end of the day, the trades are done. And the best thing you can do is root for your team and hope that they beat the Magic, or that if you're a Magic fan, that they win the World Series. You just got to see what happens. There's not much you could do. All the trades are done. The rosters are pretty much finalized and ready to go because MLW is going to be picking up in the next couple of weeks. We are getting back into the MLW season, boys. Thank you guys so much for watching this Discord Reacts video because the series is going to be back this year, boys. Obviously, I think it's now my second full year that I'm going to be doing this. It'll be my third postseason. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any other opinions about the draft and possible trade accusations of it being rigged, say whatever you want. Throw it down in the description below, the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys all next time. Peace out, y'all.